getting close to the end. I can see from everyone's faces we're all tired. I'm sorry, right? We're all tired. Zach's excited, so there's always one person that's got to ruin it for everybody. Right? We're all tired. Zach's in a good mood. All right. So either way, retire, we're excited to have NCCI here today. Some of you have maybe seen them at some of the career fairs. They've come to a lot. They've done some other sessions, and I know like Professor Carter's class and some of our other courses. We also had NCCI last spring here as well. So we're excited. They have some different opportunities and different things, so we're really interested in hearing that. So before I pass it over, I just want to remind you to make sure that you sign in like we were talking about before, even on your way out. In terms of events and things that we have going on, this Saturday is the Mesa Barbecue, so it's at Spanish River Park. So we have a flyer over there, so if you're interested in going, just grab a flyer on your way out, and it's this Saturday. So that's pretty much our big event. So we only have 2 information sessions for company info sessions, and the last one is tonight. So like I said, we're excited to have NCCI, and they're going to have some really great stuff to talk about. So without any further ado, can we pass it off to Marnie and the team at NCCI.
Thank you, everybody. Some of you are familiar faces from the career fairs. I'm Marnie Blaylock. I'm in talent acquisition within our human resources department. So I do a lot of the college recruiting, college relations, and recruit for all of our positions, whether it's interns or full-time positions, post-graduation. Karen Goliger is here too. She's been with the company quite a long time in application development, so she has a lot of great insight into the company and different opportunities and paths that you could take, whether it's with NCCI or with another company. National Council on Compensation Insurance is our formal name, but people know of us as NCCI. Not to be confused, there is another NCCI that's like a hospital company or something, so sometimes people get confused with that. But we're based here in Boca. We're about 10 minutes away. We're at Congress in 95. We have a 310,000 square foot facility, so very spacious. We've been around going on 100 years in the next couple years. Very stable company. We have 900 employees right around there, and over 800 are in our Boca location up the road. The average tenure with the company is almost 13 years. It actually was more than that a year or 2 ago. The only reason it went down slightly was because of retirements, because we do have a lot of long tenure people. We have a lot of baby boomers that are starting to retire and have been for the last couple of years. In IT, our tenure is even longer. It's like 15 years. So as Karen will attest to, there's a good path for people in IT. It's a larger group for us. So that means more opportunities, because we do try to promote from within whenever we can. And in the areas like IT, it makes sense to promote from within whenever we can, because the NCCI experience is so valuable. So this is our beautiful campus here on a lake. So NCCI, our mission, vision, you can see here in our values. Foster a healthy workers' compensation system. Workers' compensation insurance is commercial casualty insurance. So we're part of property and casualty, so you'll hear P&C insurance. The insurance industry isn't just about insurance sales or marketing. We're not a sales and marketing driven organization. We're a data driven organization, and we have a lot of technology with that too. So with that comes different things I'll explain in a minute. So, experience work life at NCCI. Interesting, challenging, rewarding, caring, and impacting. There's a lot of amenities at NCCI. We have a fitness center on site that's run by the YMCA. It's a fully functioning fitness center. And there's also classes that you can take. We have Zumba, spinning, yoga. People will work that into their schedule. So health and wellness is a big thing at NCCI. We also have a bistro that's run by Sodexo. So we have chefs there that can make healthy meals or not so healthy meals. We also have a Starbucks on site. It's not a fully functioning Starbucks, but they have the basic Starbucks coffee, tea, and everything too. So it's very convenient. You can pretty much do everything there in one site, so you don't have to go traveling to go eat if you don't want to, for lunch or whatnot. And I can say that we have way too many sweets and desserts because I've gained a ton of weight in 5 years I've been with the company. We also have sports leagues, various sports leagues. We have tennis, bowling, golf, softball, basketball. So they're usually once or twice a year. You can join one of the sports leagues. I'll go back. Let's see. That's okay. So with the sports leagues, people will join those. Some of them are NCCI versus NCCI employees. Some are NCCI versus other companies. But it's a fun way to get to know your coworkers, because sometimes if you're working in IT and you're working in your group, you may not have exposure to actuarial or customer operations or people from those other areas kind of congregate together. So it's a way to get to know your coworkers, and that's another reason people stay with the company a long time, is because of their coworkers and the relationships that they have there.
Tell me your voice password to continue.
Oh my gosh. Big brother? Yeah. Sorry. No, I'm not telling you my password. Anyway, we also really focus on talent development. We offer tuition reimbursement if you want to, pursue a bachelor's degree, if you have an associate's degree, or if you don't have a master's and you want a master's, or also just certifications or designations that may be relevant for the role that you're in. NCCI supports that. We have a talent development team that help out with some of the soft skills that may be helpful, like interviewing, personality profiling, other technical skills, like if you wanted to take an Excel class or something like that, they help people out with that. Different conferences and seminars too, we definitely support that a lot. We have 8 different divisions. So as I mentioned, IT has over 200 employees, about 220 or so. And about 120 are in application development, the rest are in infrastructure. We don't have a lot of turnover, so people are like, oh, well, you must have a lot of openings all the time. We don't have a ton of openings because people don't leave the company. But there are opportunities, like I said, to advance because, for example, in application development, when someone retires, most likely they're going to be at a high level. So we're going to promote from within to those levels, and then we bring people in at the entry to mid-level typically. So there's a lot of opportunities that way. Data, we have over 100 people in data. Customer operations, about 200. Some of the other divisions, like HR, are kind of smaller. Finance, HR, we have about 20 people, which is large for a size organization. We also have HR business partners that partner with the different business units. So you have someone in employee relations that can help if you have any issues. Regulatory is also kind of a different division that sometimes they'll take people from other areas and move them, or they'll move into regulatory. So different positions open up in different areas. So sometimes people may start out in customer operations because maybe they don't have the experience yet to get a position in our IT area, but they can work towards that. maybe there's a designation or certification that could be helpful. I had someone start in IT and help desk, and he wanted to move into the security area. So he took the initiative to get some certifications and kind of get his name out there. And when a position opened up, he interviewed for it and he got it. So there's different opportunities that way too. So if you're interested in a career with NCCI, you can apply on our website. You can either apply on our careers page on ncci.com or jobs.ncci.com. Our current openings are always posted there. If they're external facing, they will be posted there. Throughout the year, most of the needs that we will have will be in the application development area for web developers. That's where the majority of our needs are. Infrastructure, not as much. Data resources, we may have a data analyst opening. We have teams that work with different sets of data, so that's a good way to get in with the company too. As far as internships, we have a couple of summer internships. The only one we have for IT right now is a IT intern help desk, which, as Zach can attest to, we wanted Zach, but anyway, we only have one opening for that. So we have, a lot of people that are interested in that opportunity. There could be other opportunities in the future for other internships. That just happens to be the one we have open right now that we're about to fill. Other internships could be in the area of data. It's just not solidified at this time because they're looking to expand into some data analytics, but we don't know exactly what that's going to look like right now or when that would come to fruition. And there's another area where we have interns, but most of you probably wouldn't be interested in that because it's actuarial. So anyway, I'm going to pass it over to Karen. There we go.
Thanks, Bonnie. Hello, I know it's late in the day, so I'll try to keep you awake. I'm Karen Gallagher, and you see I have a lot of initials after my name. And you're probably wondering, what are all those things? So there's different designations that I've gotten along the way of my career. So just to give you a little background of how I started out. I started out actually as a computer science major at Brooklyn College way back. I graduated in 1987. How many women do you think were in IT in 1987? I was a very rare breed, and it's nice to see that we have a mix of men and women in the room because there are not that many women, especially my age, in IT. So I like to see that women are interested in IT again. It's a great career because it's a very flexible career. I love it. I'm able to work around my children's schedule. I have a good work-life balance at NCCI. IT is one of those things you can do from anywhere. So it's great for if you want to have a family or if you just need flexible hours for whatever reason. It's a fantastic career. So I started out doing COBOL on a mainframe. You may not even know what a mainframe is. They're these big supercomputers. And then I got into Visual Basic, which was a client-server language, and then recently .NET, which is for the web. And the main thing is that you have to be flexible because nothing stays the same in this field. When you're in IT, you're going to learn things all along for the rest of your life. So what you're learning now in school, whatever programming languages, I learned COBOL. Do you even know what COBOL is? Okay, COBOL it barely exists anymore. It still does exist in some really old legacy systems, but nobody codes new systems in COBOL. So it doesn't really matter what you're learning. It matters how you're learning. It matters how you use your mind and how you solve problems and how flexible you are. And you want to always have that ability to keep learning and keep growing, and that will make you successful in IT. It doesn't really matter the specific language or not, because we don't even know what the web's going to look like in a few years. It might all be voice, and then everything's okay. Keep learning and growing. I started as a programmer, I became a project lead, and then I became a Scrum Master. We do Agile development, and I have these initials now. The PMP means a Project Management Professional, and the CSME is a Certified Scrum Master. Those are just different designations that mean that I'm certified to run a project. That's what it means. And then I got into design. So I love web design. Anybody here like to design screens and things like that? Okay, so I recently got my UXC, which is usability certification. So I can design systems with a certification. I've always been designing, but it's something I really love. So IT is really cool because you can be very technical, but you can also be very creative. It's something for everybody. So why would you want a career in IT? All these things and more. The planes don't work without IT. Cars don't work. Medicine doesn't work. How many of you have seen robotic surgery on television? I mean, they show that a lot, right? That's all because of IT. Everything that we do, obviously your phones and your computers, but everything we do, your cars have computers in them. If your computer in your car breaks down, you can't drive. So everything revolves around IT. And there's many different careers. So there's developer, which is when you code, the application designer, so I do a lot of that now as a designer, but there's also physical design in the application, like how different components are going to talk to each other. Security administration, that is a really hot field. Security is really important, right? You don't want anybody stealing your identity. That's a really good field to go into. Database administrator, so when you enter anything on a screen and it gets stored somewhere, all your information, that gets stored in a database. That database has to be secured. It has to perform really fast so that your data comes back to you fast. Database administrators are critical. A data designer designs how all those pieces of data are going to talk to each other. And big data analysis is very hot growing field right now. So if you like data, if you like to analyze crunch numbers, if you like to see how data relates to itself and all different ways that you can manipulate data, that's a great field also, and it's a growing field right now. Network specialists, so how do our phones talk to each other? How do computers talk to the web? All those things, the network people take care of all that. Systems architect is, everybody has like little pieces of systems that they work with, but all those systems talk to each other. So systems architects figure out that whole big framework of how all the systems are going to intercommunicate with each other so that your data gets passed properly. And then there's hardware professionals. They fix these things. So when your laptop breaks or your phone breaks or anything breaks, the hardware professionals know what to do. I don't. That's not my thing. So what are some important traits that an IT professional has? They're, like I said, flexible. If you want to be successful in IT, keep learning, stay flexible. Remember that, okay, I'm doing this today, and tomorrow I'm going to learn about a new technology, and that's great. If you have that mindset, you're going to be very successful. And that's actually the key in a lot of fields lately, because everything changes. You want to enjoy learning and applying new skills. You want to think analytically. So you need to be able to problem solve. Somebody's going to say, I need a system that does this. And you're going to have to figure out how to make it do that. They're not going to tell you how because they don't know. They just know that they have a problem and you're going to solve their problem for them. So you need to think analytically. You want to be innovative. Things that have already been done are done. IT moves forward. Everything that's been done in the past, COBOL, mainframes, you don't even know what they are. You know iPhone, okay? What's going to be after the iPhone? What do you think? Innovation is IT supports all that innovation. So whatever great ideas you have, you're the future. You're going to make those things happen. So just think big. And you want to enjoy collaboration. You can't be successful in a vacuum. If you bounce ideas off of each other, you're going to be way more successful. You're going to have customers who come to you and say, I don't know how to do this. You're going to write code for them to try to make it happen. But you're going to have to go back to them and say, hey, did I solve your problem? And they're going to say, well, not really, because I really needed this. You have to have that back and forth communication. And the more you're able to collaborate with people and work together with people, the better you're going to be at any job, but especially at IT. And you want to be proud to be a geek. I'm very proud to be a geek. I have a son who went to FAU. He was a math major here. He graduated a few years ago. And he got recruited by an IT firm, and he is a geek like me, and I'm so proud. So being a geek is really cool. It didn't used to be a cool thing, but actually Bill Gates made it cool, right? Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they made it cool to be a geek because what happened? They were smart, they invented something cool, And now they have billions of dollars. Steve Jobs is no longer with us, but they made billions of dollars because they were proud to be a geek. There's nothing wrong with being a geek. It's a very cool thing. So what's a typical day like at NCCI? Okay, so first of all, I purposely wore jeans. I would not normally, if I was really giving a presentation out in the world, I do that sometimes, I don't wear jeans. But I wore jeans to show you that this is how I dress to go to work. NCCI has a very casual, laid back, you can't wear ripped jeans. I see some of you with the ripped jeans. I have those, I wear them on the weekend. But for every day I wear these and a nice top or a polo shirt. Can't wear t-shirts with slogans on them. But you can be casual at NCCI, which is another really great perk of working there, especially most of us IT people, we like to wear jeans and t-shirts all the time. It's very informal collaboration with customers and coworkers, like I mentioned. You do some independent work, of course. You need to focus. You're writing code. You're trying to make systems work. You're trying to figure out data. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you're going to need some of that alone time and really focus on your independent work. You're going to have meetings. There's always meetings. You'd be surprised how many meetings can happen in a day. But whether you're in the business or in IT, the meetings are important because this is how you find out whether you're heading in the right direction. This is how you find out from the customers what it is that they need, what problems you haven't solved or have solved for them so far, and how you continue to move forward. And then we do a lot of peer reviews and pair programming, where we'll often sit together and we'll code together, we'll work our problem at the same time. And you have two brains working on something, two heads are better than one. You ever hear that expression? And that's very true. And then we do a lot of testing, because you'd be surprised how many things you forget about. Okay, so the customer enters a phone number and, oh, I didn't make sure that it was the right number of digits. Or, oh, I let them put an A in, it should only have numbers. All those things that you want to make sure that you coded properly for and that you're testing properly. Testing is very important in everything that you do. So why do you want to work at NCCI? Well, friendly people. Marnie gave you a lot of the reasons, but I'm giving you my perspective. Friendly people, new technologies, we get to work on a lot of new stuff. Ever since I've been here, I love to learn. So do you all like to learn? I know you're in school and you feel like learning is kind of passe because you've been here all day and stuff. But because you're in college, I mean, that means you want to learn, right? You want those brains to keep growing. Keep that passion, keep wanting to learn. It's a great place to learn. There's interesting work to do, and our business helps people. Workers' compensation means that if you get injured on the job, you have insurance to cover that. That's really important. So I feel good about going to work every day and helping to support the people who get injured on the job. So I like where I work. You know, you can work at a lot of different places, but if you work at a place that helps people, it's an extra bonus. We have great work-life balance. I get to work from home one day a week, which is really cool. And if I have something going on, like if my kid is sick and I need to work from home that day, my boss is usually okay with me working from home that day. And it's on a case-by-case basis, but they're pretty flexible because, especially being in IT, you can often work from home. And we have web meetings and things like that, so you can even collaborate even when you're working from home. We have a lot of community involvement that Marty talked about, and all the on-site amenities. We have the gym, the daycare. I had my youngest son was in the daycare here. My two oldest, I was working in a different company at the time. But it's great to have your child on site when you have a baby, so it's another cool perk. And we have a great cafeteria. And that's what I have. So now I guess questions and answers for any of us? Any questions? Sure.
What would you say is the best advice for someone who's new to programming? Which language do you think would be the best to start out on, or which do you think would be the most useful to maybe get a position at NCCI?
C# is a strong language to know. It's used a lot. JavaScript is used a lot. For our front end, we use Angular and React frameworks. So those are some things that we develop with on the front end. But in terms of like a basic, really strong language, C# is a good language. So,
Oh, that's the same thing.
same question.
Being new to programming, you're always like wondering what's the top language to learn.
So there's a lot of new things that come out. It's just, we're a C# shop for our middle tier. The front end we're using Angular and React right now for the front facing web. But it's more understanding how to program than what language. When I was in college, I learned something called PL1, which I didn't even, that wasn't my first job. My first job was COBOL, which I hadn't done that much with. But I took a course called Programming Languages where we had to do 7 languages in 1 year. It was the best course I could have taken because it taught me that flexibility. It taught me that it doesn't really matter which programming language you're using, you're thinking as a programmer. So once you can program in any language, you'll be able to pick up all the other ones. So understand object-oriented principles. Are you learning about object-oriented principles? Okay, so you want to understand what that is. So understand the principles, understand how code talks to each other, and the languages will come. We used to be a visual basic shop, and now we're C#. So
What do you look for in an entry-level candidate?
We look for a variety of things. If someone has a level of experience, that's always a plus, and that helps people to stand out. Like even if someone has done some entrepreneurial type work, like if they're building websites for their friends, family members, church, whatever, to get some kind of additional experience is always good because it helps people stand out. The educational base is great too, but it's also good communication skills and ability to learn the business side as well, because that helps people grow in their career as well. Because they want people that are also collaborative, that they know are gonna be able to learn and grow as we have additional needs in the future. So it's not just about experience or what you know, it's how you communicate and a cultural fit with the company. Because sometimes when you're coming into a company like ours, you may be working with some older legacy technologies, but you could also be working with newer technologies too. There's usually a mix. So if you come in saying, oh, I only want to work with this or this, that could kind of limit you or make you look inflexible. But we also we like when people come in from other companies or recent college grads, because you can bring new ideas to the company too and say, oh, well, I worked with this, technology, maybe this could help, or, so it's kind of a variety of things.
Who are some of your company's competitors?
Our company's competitors, as a organization, we really don't have any direct competitors. We're a very different organization because we're not an insurance company per se. We're a data company. So, the way I can explain it in an easy way is, workers' comp is a state-run system. So workers' compensation is required of companies of a certain size in different states. So the states that are NCCI states are mandated to provide us with certain data. And we utilize that data for different purposes. So whether it be setting the rates in different states for workers' comp, or legislative analysis, because if certain legislation is passed, let's say in the state of Florida, there could be an impact to the system. And if there's an impact to the system of workers' comp, that impacts all the businesses that need workers' comp in that state. Because let's say in Georgia, we propose a 10% rate hike. Well, that goes down to all the businesses in that state. So we kind of play a fine line between those different companies. Now, when it comes to IT and competing for candidates, that can vary, but we are just very different. But we come up against Ultimate Software, SBA, Office Depot, and a lot of other companies, JM. And like I've looked at our package comparatively, and we're very competitive in a lot of ways. And we're a nice size company because we're a mid-sized company. We're not huge with 900 employees, But, it's a great sized company because there are opportunities and resources available, but it's not so big that you get lost in the mix. So,
And one of the things that's nice is the clubs, like I actually run the bowling league, and so I met people from all over the entire company through the bowling league, and I also am a member of Toastmasters, which is another club that we have on site, which is a speaking
she's
club.
won a lot of awards.
So, yeah.
She's
But one of the things, but that's one of the things that's really nice about NCCI versus some of these other companies, because some of these companies do have some clubs, but we're really like a family. You'd be surprised how many people have met their spouses there, and like I said, we have the on-site daycare, so we get to see our friends' kids sometimes. It's really nice. It feels like a home, really. I mean, there's no reason that I wouldn't want to work, honestly, and I'm not saying this because I'm here, it's the truth. There's no reason not to want to work at NCCI. It's a great environment, it really is. I get challenged with my work, and I have great people to work with, so it's a really great place.
So you mentioned you have a few certifications for the project management and so on. So does NCCI give the opportunity to help pay for
Yes.
certification along the way? And
Yes, as long as you work it out with, in IT anyway, you work it out with your boss if it's something that you're interested in getting certified in, and as long as your boss approves it and you pass your certification, they usually will reimburse you for your certification training.
Because Marty mentioned someone who's at the help desk who went and tried to get certifications in security and things like that. So,
Now, in his case, he wasn't in that role yet. I'm not sure if he was reimbursed for that because, I don't know, he may have been.
I don't know, but I know like in
Yeah,
my
sometimes,
case,
yeah.
all my certifications were approved by my management.
Usually it's whatever is relevant for your role.
Yeah.
like need-based.
Yeah. But if it's like, and some courses can be free too, you know,
Yeah.
but NCCI is very supportive of continual learning and relevance to your role or where you want to go.
That's important.
You mentioned that there was like a lot of internal promotion. So say if like, on the topic of certification, say if they required like a project manager and there happens to be no project manager available, would they push like one of the lower people to decide to get trained in there? Or would they then consider going outside?
We look, with a lot of positions, we'll look internal and external. So we kind of have a thing going on, and we're about to have this career development showcase, which is an internal showcase. We did a showcase, this is only for internal employees, but it's own your career. So there's different opportunities throughout the organization. It's upon you to kind of say, you know what, I'm interested in doing this. What do I need to get there? And if I don't know what it is that they do, let me try to find out and connect with the manager, because it may be something that you end up not wanting to do. Because the managers are very open to shadowing, doing a desk ride, you know, in certain areas, where they can kind of make you more aware of what would be involved with the position on a day-to-day basis. Then it's up to you. Like if they say, well, you know what, it would help if you learned C#, take it upon yourself to try to learn that, you know, take a course or something.
And one of the things they just started in IT in the development areas is, have any of you used Pluralsight? It's an online learning. So they just got Pluralsight licenses for all of us so that we can do all of our own learning, which is fantastic because we used to have to share a pool of licenses and you had to wait for somebody to finish with it. So it enables you to continue to learn and grow. And the more you do start that self-initiative, the better for you, because that will get you recognized. So like if you do want to do project management and you want to learn about it on your own, start learning about it on your own and then go to your boss and say, hey, I'm really interested in this. I've already taken this course, this course, this course. I think I have a real aptitude for this. What can I do with this? And then they can help you in that career too. But you don't want to just go to somebody and say, I think I might like this. That's not going to go over, in my opinion, based on my experience. That's not going to go over very well. If you really are interested in something, like I said, it's free. So take a course, see if you like it, or take a couple of courses and show that you're already getting on that path and you've already done some self-study on that. And again, whether you work at NCCI or anywhere else, I'm giving you this advice for anywhere that you work. Show the initiative, show that you've already made that step in the right direction and that you're already learning what it is you want to do. And everybody will appreciate that because they want people who have the initiative. They want people who are go-getters and who are going to take that and keep learning. Those are the best kind of employees. You don't want an employee who's just going to say, give me, give me. You want somebody who's going to meet you halfway. Yeah, they'll give you, but you have to show that you want it, and that you work toward that.
Can alumni get in on the plural site log in as well? Like if you have an FAU email? No?
It's just for, NCCI employees in IT.
Okay.
So it's like an internal e-learning type.
Yes.
That's cool.
They have other, e-learning as well for all the,
Yeah.
they have like littlelinda.com and
Yeah.
other things like that available for all the departments.
Yeah, lynda.com I think was, bought by LinkedIn Learning, so now it's LinkedIn Learning, but there's other courses.
And there's a lot on YouTube, you don't have to pay for any of the things, you know. Udemy is also a very good one.
I was gonna ask that, I guess for like, in the HR standpoint, when you're looking at resumes, is it more of a talking point to not put like, taking those self-study classes like Udacity, Udemy, Lynda, like maybe like ditch that on, like off your resume and just like talk about it with you? Or is it something like, oh, like he took this Udacity course, or is that?
I put it on your resume because, like, if you think about it this way, like, we have an opening, we may get 300 or 400 resumes. So the earlier you are to apply, the better chance you usually have to get looked at. And you want all those keywords in there because recruiters go searching by those keywords too. They search their database and they search other databases too. So anything that can help you stand out, I would include it because you may not have a talking point. Definitely go to career fairs, whether you're alumni or a student, and make those connections because it really is all about who you know and who knows you. Because if we're getting a couple hundred resumes, Jan, Lexus is probably getting more than that and the others too. And if there's one opening, you have a really small chance of that opportunity. Yeah.
How long does your hiring process take from the time you submit an application? Because I check your careers website all the time, and I see that the same positions have been on there for quite some time. How long does it normally take?
We keep some positions are kind of evergreen, like you'll see a programmer position. That would be the one, it's not one opening, it's several openings. So, usually that's what it is, and we may be looking internally and externally too. But typically, we get from start to finish, it's within a month. Once we get someone in the process, it's probably even faster because typically our interview process is an HR phone screen. I may review resumes with my liaison in application development or IT, and then we review it and then do an HR phone screen. We also are doing a video interview right now for most of our positions where it's a one-way recorded video through a platform called SparkHire. So that's about 5 questions that are asked, what are you passionate about, most passionate about with IT or whatever it is. What's your top skill set, things like that. And then it comes to on-site interviews after that usually. You have a question?
Yeah, so what sort of technologies and softwares are people within your data department using currently?
Within data?
Yeah.
So in data, we use SQL Developer a lot just to do queries. That's one of the main things they use. The actuaries are starting to use R a lot. They're using R. Anybody ever program in R? It's a very popular language with the actuaries. So some of the data people are starting to pick up on that as well. And they just mostly write SQL. The data people mostly write SQL. And we have Oracle databases and SQL Server databases, but the big data we have is mostly in Oracle.
Yeah, some of the areas of data, data analysts, when they come in, some of them, they want them really strong with, Excel. Some of them, as long as it's analytical education or experience.
Some of them use Access too.
Yeah, access to it.
So for the HR, so the HR side of things, so cover letters. So what would be like the one thing that like really stands out in a cover letter that says, oh, I would like to learn more about this person and go into the resume and see what more they have to offer? Like what's the one thing that really makes you look more into a candidate in a cover letter?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is it is good to have a cover letter because most people don't. And it can help you if you're short in some area, you know, or deficient in certain areas, because then you can kind of say, well, you know, I don't have this experience, but I have this and I can learn quickly, you know, whatever it is. So if you can kind of relate to the role, maybe some soft skills that you can bring to the role. If you know people or you met people using their names, like you use an executive's name, you're gonna get a call, you know? Because, or an employee, so employee referrals are important, and they sometimes get looked at. Not that we have to hire employee referrals, but that can help too, because then you have an advocate with the company as well. So if you mention that, but I think, yeah, just bringing things together is good in a cover letter.
So networking is a really big thing.
Networking is definitely a big thing.